LFFL Primetime, we got a lot to get through this week, so we're going to get right into it. Look at the original league first, where Miles beat Matt, Phil beat Andy, Eric beat Greg, Todd beat Bill, and I beat Josh. Miles sits on top at 6-1. Josh and I in a tie for second at 5-2. Todd at 4-3. And then look at this massive huddle down here near the final wildcard spots. Andy, Phil, Greg all at 3-4. Eric, Bill, Matt all at 2-5. This is a wide open race. This league always has a lot of parity. This year is no different. Looking at week 8, Miles taking on Andy 1-1 in this series. Josh taking on Phil. Josh with a 12-9 lead in the series. Got Greg taking on Matt. Greg with the 15-11 lead in the series. Got Bill taking on Eric. Bill with the 14-10 lead in the series, including 9 of the last 10. So Eric looking to buck this trend as he tries to get a win to move to 3-5. And then finally, Todd taking on myself. I hope the 35-26-1 lead in the series. But Matt and I are kind of the core matchup because we're the first matchup. But boy, Todd and I seem to play all the time in meaningful, important games. Both over 500 right here. Todd and I have played in 9 playoff games in this league, which is a record. We have played in 3 title games, including last year's Super Bowl. I was able to beat him last year, but he had beat me in the first 2, so it was a little bit of revenge for me. And I'm not even getting grinded on basketball in high school because you know where that takes me, in a place that none of you need to hear from. So good luck this week, Todd. Always fun to match up with you. LFFL 2, Greg beats Sean. Todd beats Phil. Merrill's a 2-point win over Eric. Bill, a 1-point win over Miles. Andy destroys my poor sorry team. Andy and Greg tied at the top at 5-2. Eric, Merrill's, Bill, Sean all at 4-3. I'm at 3-4. We got Todd, Miles, and Phil at 2-5. This week, Andy versus Greg. What a matchup. The top 2 teams in the league. The top 2 scoring teams in the league. Andy, a simple 1-point lead on Greg on the year. 500 points to 499. This should be awesome. Get that popcorn ready. Now, it's not the only Simons Kaufman game on the slate. We got another one. Phil and I. You don't need to get your popcorn ready for this one. We both stink this year. Hopefully one of us can use this game as a springboard to get back in the mix. We also have Eric taking on Bill, Merrill's taking on Todd, and Sean taking on Miles. LFFL 3, your winners are Miles, Sean, Phil, Todd, Eric, and Bill. Look at your standings. Miles continues to be undefeated at 7-0. Phil, 5-2. Matt, Merrill, Todd, Eric, Andy, Bill, all at 4-3. Myself and Matt Brennan just outside looking in at 3-4. Sean at 2-5. Greg and Nate looking challenging for a playoff berth. This week, Miles and taking on Todd. Phil taking on Eric, Bill and Matt, Nate and Andy, Matt Brennan versus Greg, and Sean versus myself. Your LFFL 4, congratulations, Mr. Phil Kaufman, 2nd win of the season. He now has 11 career wins. He is 3rd all-time in this. Miles comes in 2nd. Eric comes in 3rd, 4th straight week that Eric has posted a top 3 finish. On the season, I have the lead. Greg in 2nd, but Phil and Eric tightening the race up ever so much. Todd right there as well. Anybody's game here. Your showdown slates. Nate wins Thursday Night Football. Miles wins Monday Night Football. LFFL 5, your winners over here. Eric over Andy, Todd over Bill, Phil over Miles, Greg over Nate. I beat Sean. Bill and Eric sit tied at 6-1 after Bill's loss. I'm 5-2. Greg, Phil, Todd all at 4-3. Andy and Miles 2-5. Sean and Nate 1-6 this week. Bill taking on Phil. Eric taking on Miles. Greg taking on Sean. Andy taking on Nate. Todd taking on myself. LFFL 6. Slick moved from 8th to 4th last week. Finished the move this week, moving from 4th all the way up to 1st. Phil, also a big move, going from 7th all the way up to 2nd. The bye weeks, the injuries, there was a lot going on. We had a wide range of scoring, some super low scores, some super high scores. So your standing, Slick sits in 1st, Phil 2nd, Matt and I chasing at 3rd and 4th. Month leaders stay the same. LFFL 7, I was your elimination this week after weeks of trying to get eliminated. I was finally eliminated. Joining my old school compatriots, Todd and Phil, Eric and Matt, pick us up. Please, let's not have an old school eliminated this week. 2nd straight week, a tight elimination, 4 teams within 10 points. LFFL 8, Phil, a 2nd high score in 3 weeks, racking up over 200 points. He was the only team to do that this week. Phil maintains his lead in this league. Finally, bracket challenge. Phil beats Bill in the 116 seed. I won the 8-9 game, setting up a matchup with Phil in the Elite 8. Two upsets down here in the Sanders division. Nate upsets Todd. Jeremy upsets Bill. Just like the regular thing, right? These 5-12, these 4-13 games. They sets up a Jeremy-Nate Elite 8 matchup. Up here in this, on the other side of the bracket, Eric and Andy both win their matchup, setting an Elite 8 game between the two of them. And down here, Todd upsets Greg, and Matt beats Greg, meaning Greg gets double eliminated in the race division of all places. Matt and Todd going at it in the Elite 8. You are allowed 1 roster move now if you need to make it. Go ahead. You can wait if you want to make it a different week. 1 roster move for this round of the playoffs. And finally, Andy continues to lead in Player of the Year. No surprise there. It's a Simons Merrill party at the top, right? Myself, Matt, Merrill, and Josh all trailing him. So good luck this week. I will talk to you soon.